and I never stop. This is the truth about me and my philosophy. I became a MC back in the 1989 when I speak my first line.
What's up, YouTube? Nothing really new this week again as far as news goes. The new Nazi party, socialist party, the Democrats, they're throwing around subpoenas left and right, trying to find some way to incriminate Trump on bogus charges. It's literally been proven that there was no Russian collusion, and they just won't give it up. They're literally nitpicking everybody, trying to find something to impeach Trump on. It's gotten ridiculous, and it needs to be dropped. If it's he's already been exonerated, there's nothing there, and they know it, and they're just nitpicking. And instead of focusing on more serious issues like the border problem with being flooded by illegal immigrants, instead of focusing more on better border security and other issues going on between our, like the China tariff trades or whatever. Instead of focus on more important issues, they're just piddling around with Trump, trying to impeach him. They're getting desperate, and it needs to stop. It's like I said, it was done. It's all been done. It's over. They need to stop being idiots and acting like children, whining like little babies, and get over it and move on. But otherwise, nothing really important going on in the news. So with that being said, we're just going to get on with our our reviews. Before I get to the movie reviews, I did tell you that I would keep you updated on in a past video that I was playing the Final Fantasy games, and I'll probably get through 1 through at least 8 or 9. I just finished up on 5, and just to let you know, I am really looking forward to the new Final Fantasy VII that they're fixing to come out, the remake or whatever. It looks pretty awesome, and I'm looking forward to trying that out. But anyways, Final Fantasy V. It wasn't bad. It was all right. The storyline wasn't really spectacular, but it wasn't bad either. Now, if you played this game straight through and you didn't do any type of level grinding or anything like that, then it wasn't really that long. It wasn't hours and hours. It wouldn't take you that long to get through the game. However, I'm one of them types of people who like to do all the side quests, and try to get as much as I can, special items and stuff like that. I try. I don't always do it all, but I usually get most of it. For example, the blue magic. Blue magic, or a blue mage, is someone who learns particular magic from certain creatures or monsters you're fighting. Not all monsters contain blue magic, and not all monsters are going to use blue magic. But you don't have, if you master the blue mage and you're, how do you say, you go to the beginning and not do, or not the beginning, but how you started off with no jobs, then that job is automatically, that passive learning ability is there automatically if if you go with no job. Now for me, it took me forever to get all the jobs leveled up, and that's my biggest complaint about this game. Is I couldn't always enjoy the game because I was too busy, not level grinding, but job grinding. Each job has a particular set of levels to master, and you have to have what's called ability points or job points to make the next level in that particular job, whatever job you put on your character. For example, the warrior or the knight, you have to have like 7 job levels. Your first job, to get to your first job level, you have to have 10 ability points, and then it goes to 30, then it goes to 60 or 80, and each level there's more and more job points you have to go up to the next level. And usually there's about 12 jobs, and most of them, when you get to the last 2 or 3 levels of that particular job to master, they get up into like 300, 400, 500, 600, or higher. There's a couple of them where you need 1,000 job points to level or master it at the end. The problem with this is that most of the fights that you get in with the monsters, they only give you 1 job point. And that's the norm. So you're talking about thousands upon thousands of job points to level up all these jobs, thousands upon thousands of fights. So it takes forever to level up these jobs. At one point, there's 3 worlds in the entire game. The first world, the second world, and then the third world is basically when they mesh the 2 worlds together and become one. Anyways, the first world, there's a desert area with this like a monster in it that gives you 3 ability points. And I couldn't find anything to give me more than 2 ability points if I was lucky in a fight. So I spent hours upon hours fighting this thing in the desert, trying to get my ability points up. And it took forever. But at some point I got sick and tired of doing it, and I moved on to the second world. And then when I got to the second world, I found a little basement area where they had these stone statues outside the basement door or whatever. And I found out if you fight those monsters over and over in that one little area, the least they're going to give you is 4 job points per fight. And a lot of times they give you 8 job points per fight. So I knew that that was the best place to level up the jobs, because nowhere else can you get that, except for towards the end in the Phoenix Tower, where you can give some elixirs to a few of these jars and get like 100 job points. But that's towards the end of the game, It's way too late to be doing it by then. Some people probably don't even level up all their jobs, and I don't blame them. It took me forever to get every job leveled up. The real benefit to that, though, is that you have all your abilities early on, and your passive abilities. If you take no job after you've mastered all the jobs, and you take the no job, all those passive abilities your character automatically has. Now you have to equip commands to use the command abilities, but all the passive ones your character has. Like learning blue magic, it's automatically there. The footwork to make you faster, like a thief, it's already there. Them type of abilities you automatically get if you take no job and you've already mastered them, all them jobs. Anyways, that was my only complaint. It just took forever to level them up. I even went and got the Mimic job, which is the very last job. However, they wanted 1,000 job points to level it up. And literally, I was like you're literally towards the very end of the game once you get it. So there's really no point in mastering that. You don't need it. I really hardly used much of the magic towards the end of the game. I just relied on putting, once I've mastered everybody, I had all my characters master all the jobs, I just put double weapons on them, or the 2 swords ability, which you automatically get once it's mastered. I just I just had that on everybody. I just gave them all double weapons and used the weapons, and the weapons literally obliterated everybody. So I just relied on weapons. I didn't worry about magic really. Anyways, that was my only complaint. Final Fantasy V, it's a great game. You just have to deal with a lot of crap if you want to level up, or spend hours of level grinding. Which is ridiculous. Shouldn't have to spend that much time doing it. But that's the only complaint I had, was leveling up them jobs. Took forever. So let's get on to our B-movie reviews. The first one I'm going to talk about is a movie done by Clive Barker in 1990. And it's called Nightbreed. Now, I love the Hellraiser series that Clive Barker did. It's awesome. I've watched pretty much just about all of them. I watched the first 9. I think there's like a few more, but I know I watched up to 9. They're awesome. I love the Hellraiser series. But this one, man, I was like, WTF, like what the... I don't know what he was thinking when he did this one, but it just didn't make no sense. This one was really out there. If you've ever watched any or read Stephen King stuff, every now and then, Stephen King does it too. It's, dude, what are you doing? What is this crap? Makes no sense. And Nightbreed was kind of one of them WTF movies. It starred Craig Sheffer and Ann Bobby. It really didn't do all that well at the box office. It only made about $9 million. I'm not even sure if it made budget with that, but it didn't do all that great at the box office. And after I watched the movie, I could see why. The makeup effects were really pretty cool looking, actually. The makeup department did a really good job on a lot of stuff. I actually thought the serial killer, the bad guy in this movie, was actually, his mask was fucking really creepy. They did a really good job making him fucking creepy as hell. But anyway, it's basically about this kid who thinks that, or young guy, he thinks he's crazy. He's seen some crap when he was a kid, and it didn't make no sense. Something about a mystical place or a city called Median, and all the monsters go there, and all your sins are forgiven if you go there, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's kind of like the storyline. Uh, he goes and sees this doctor, who's actually, well, he's kind of like, he's basically the serial killer. But anyway, he doesn't know it. He goes to see him about, you know, his problem. He'd been seeing him for a while. Well, he stopped seeing him, obviously, because he thought he got better, and he didn't even think about median or this, whatever it's called. I think it's median. I can't remember. Anyway, this mystical city of monsters, but the doctor calls him because the doctor wants to destroy this monster city or whatever. So he gets in contact with him again, says he needs to see him because something's not right. Anyways, he winds up going to see him, and it starts all the problems all over again. He starts hear about meets a patient, tries to kill himself. He also believes in this mythical monster city. And he ends up committing suicide. But the good doctor, he kills some people and then blames the murder on him. And then the police kill him or shoot him and supposedly kills him outside of this graveyard that's supposed to be the city of monsters. But he wakes up and he ends up in the city of monsters instead of being dead. And the doctor's freaking out. He thinks he knows he's out there and he wants to find him. Well, he has a girlfriend who won't let him go either, so she goes to track him down in the city, and she meets the monsters and find out that he's part of this group now, and he finds out, the boyfriend, he finds out that he's part of the group of monsters. He's got to go see the monster god or whatever, the founder of the city, and he goes to see him, and they say that everyone who goes to see him dies. He doesn't die because he's part of some kind of weird prophecy. Anyways, all in all, he eventually has to face the serial killer, who brings in like a huge police force to the graveyard to take out the monsters. And instead he ends up winding dead, and the monsters all take off looking for a new home, which boyfriend, he's supposed to be their new leader and try to take them to a new place so they can live peacefully. And that's basically the end of the movie. It was weird. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It wasn't told very well. And it just, I don't know, it looked more goofy than it was actually scary or interesting. The story wasn't that good. Like I said, it was a what the fuck movie, Moving on to the next one. The next one is One Dark Night. It was done in 1982. I saw this one when I was real little. I was a kid, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. It wasn't really scary. It was just weird, but it was cool weird. I couldn't find any box office for it. I'm not sure what it did at the box office. This one had Meg Tilly in it, Adam West, the original Batman from the TV series, Melissa Newman, and Elizabeth Daly. They were all in this. Basically what happens is Meg Tilly wants to be a part of this girls' group. Well, it wasn't really even a group. You had 3 girls who called themselves the Sisters, and they wore these purple jackets, purple and pink jackets that said Sisters on them. They were only ones, you know. It didn't. Nobody else was in the group. For some reason, whatever reason, this Meg Tilly wanted to be a part of their group. It made no sense. So they said in order for her to be a sister, that she has to go through an initiation. Her initiation, they dropped her off in a mausoleum, and told her she had to stay all night there. Her boyfriend, you know, he used to date the head blonde girl of the group, Sisters group or whatever. Now he's dating Meg Tilly. Well, the blonde still wants him back, but he doesn't want anything to do with her. You know, he's kind of upset that they're messing with her, making her go through this initiation thing to be part of a group. He don't understand why she wants to be a part of their group. But he gets upset and he goes to look for now at the beginning of this movie, you see all these dead girls at this apartment. This old man, he dies, but he has like this special psychokinetic energy, kind of like telekinesis, that he can use. Well, he's even using it in death. Melissa Newman plays Olivia. She's the niece of this old man, and she Adam West is her husband, and he's trying to get her to forget about him, move on with their life. You know, he's caused nothing but problems for her. He's never even really even had anything to do with her. Well, actually, I think the old man's her father, if I remember right, and he hadn't really had nothing to do with her. But you know, I don't know, she thinks she needs to make amends for all the things that happened to her father or something. It made no sense. Anyways, she has like this psychic connection. This doctor comes to visit her and tells her about it, that he had it and he believes she has it, and she thinks she has it because she gets these visions in her head sometimes of what's going on. Well, she has a vision of this girl, or the girls in the mausoleum. So she goes over there to help them, because she thinks her father, something's not right about her father being dead. So she goes to the mausoleum. The girls, the black girl and the blonde girl, they decide to go pull pranks on the other girl for her initiation by trying to scare her. The redhead, Elizabeth Daly, she bails out. She doesn't think it's right, and the boyfriend goes to find her, and that's when he finds out what's going on in the mausoleum, and he goes to stop it. In the mausoleum, the girls try to scare Meg Tilly. It doesn't work. The old man or whatever, he comes out of his grave or whatever, and he's got electric sparks shooting all off of him and crap, you know, and he causes the dead to come, not alive, grant you, but he causes them to come out of with his telekinesis. He makes the dead move around and kill the girls, and which don't make no sense. They shouldn't be able to be killed. I guess he smothers him, I guess you could say. But his daughter, Olivia, shows up and stops him from draining. He's like a vampire. He drains psychic energy from people, and she stops him from draining Meg Tilly's life force. And her boyfriend gets knocked out, and like I said, his daughter stops him, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. You know, they all leave and everything's okay, and he's destroyed. So it was okay for a cheesy horror flick. It wasn't horrible. It had its funny moments. It wasn't scary, but it was kind of neat at the same time. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So moving on to your last one. In 1980, there was a horror flick that was, I think it was made for TV, but I'm not really sure. I couldn't get any real information on it, except for that it was a movie. And I could have sworn it was made for TV, but maybe not. Because it grossed about $6 million. And if it was a TV movie, that's actually pretty good. But anyway, the movie's called Alligator. I'm not sure if any of you remember that. I remember it when I was a little kid. You know, it kind of freaked me out. I mean, I was only like 5 or 6 when I saw it. So, but it freaked me out, you know, thinking that there might be alligators in the sewer or crap. Because the whole story is about someone flushing an alligator down into the sewer drainage. Well, it's down there for a number of years, and it grows to an enormous size because of some gene mutation therapy that this company is working on these you know, little dogs or whatever. Well, they've been disposing of the little dogs in the sewer system, so this alligator's been eating on them, and this mutation made them get bigger or whatever was in the dogs they were working with. This had Robert Forster, Robin Riker, and Henry Silva in it. Henry Silva, you probably know him or have seen him at some point in time. He's done a lot of movies where he's like the bad guy, the drug dealer, or the hitman, or something like that, you know. Anyways, Robert and Robin kind of get together. Not at first. They didn't get along at first because she doesn't believe him that there's a giant alligator in the sewer. Because he tries to tell them that's what's going on. He's got this murder. Keeps getting these body parts. So he's got this murder case. He's trying to figure out why he's getting all these body parts in the sewer. He don't understand from the sewer. He don't get what's going on, so he goes down the sewer with a rookie, which is significant because he lost a partner a few years back in the past, and he keeps getting blamed for it for some reason. But anyway, he takes this rookie down into the sewer, and the rookie gets killed by the alligator, and he sees the alligator. So when he goes to see the woman, or Robin, she's how do I say? She's a doctor on alligators and crocodiles. You know, she knows more about them. She's an expert on them. But anyway, and you see her at the beginning of the movie as a little girl. You know, it was her alligator that her dad dumped down the toilet because he don't like alligators. But anyway, she doesn't know that. She thought he died. But anyways, Robert goes to see her, and she says alligators don't get up to be that big. Well, later she eats the words because she sees it, and she apologizes to him. They kind of get together. Well, they try to stop the alligator. they get this big police force uh, outside the sewer, one of the entrances of the sewer or whatever, and they try to flush it out, sort of banging, making lots of noise and stuff, trying to get it to come out of the sewer, but it sneaks by them. It doesn't come out of the sewer where they want it to, and it busts up through a sewage drain, or rain drain, whatever, street drain or whatever. Busts up through the cement in the street, and it tries to attack a cop, which the cop could have just, you're just like, whatever, you know, the cop could have ran away, but he didn't. Hey, you know, he like panics and tries to open his door and he can't open it. He doesn't shoot the alligator, doesn't do nothing. He just falls over and lets the alligator eat him. And you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. Anyway, the alligator shows up at the company who this old man owns, that's making these mutation chemicals or whatever in dogs or whatever, that's been experimenting on him. Anyway, the alligator shows up somehow of all places at his place. He's throwing a party, and alligator chews up a bunch of people, kills a bunch of them, and then runs away. They call in Henry Silva, because he's supposed to be an excellent hunter or whatever. So he tries to hunt down the alligator. Him and a couple black teenagers he hires to keep an eye out for the alligator. You know, they show him he's hiding in this alleyway, so he goes in there and he gets himself killed. Alligator kills him, and then the alligator decides to go back to its home in the sewer, and Robert decides to go in there and blow him up, and that's what he does. He blows him up, and that's the end of the movie. And you know, it was campy fun. It was all right for what it was. You know, kind of a TV movie. You could tell it was pretty generic, but it was okay. It was good fun. Like I said, I remember it kind of freaked me out, and there was this big panic about people flushing their animals down the toilet there for a long time back then. But anyways, it was a good movie. It was fun. Even though it was old, it was still pretty good. Like I said before in previous videos, if you have any suggestions of a movie you want me to review, a B-rated movie or an old cult classic, sci-fi or something, please leave it down in the comment section below. Leave your suggestions down there. And I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.